quick check on things. Anand is still with us. Anand, Kim's trades at a discount, at a reasonable discount to the bigger players like Medanta or Apollo Hospitals, of course. Any interest here? Have you looked at the business model? I'm sure. I mean, sitting where you are, you're familiar with the hospital chain.
Well, that is right. This is a company which has, so unlike many of the other hospitals, if you look at their balance sheet, they are not particularly leveraged. And as you can see, the numbers look quite astonishing in terms of the growth forecast. If you're moving from 3,000 to 6,000 beds, you're obviously going to make a lot more money than what you are today. The challenge is, whether or not the valuation is justified at 10,000 crore plus market cap. You are already pricing each operating bed at more than 3 crores. Today, if you were to look at even a metro city, you should be able to make about a bed per crore. And if you are going to do really high speciality, maybe it will go up to 1.5 crore. So you are already paying twice that, but that is what you should expect to pay for something which is already operational and something which is making reasonable amount of cash flow. So from a portfolio perspective, I think if you are looking at the healthcare space, and I do expect that this is an industry where consolidation will continue to happen and the corporate chains will grow bigger and bigger. Kim's would feature right up there, I would imagine.
Okay, Kim's features right up there. Good to know, Anand. So we got that view out. What about mid-cap IT companies? The street is split out there. You have a couple of these stocks, Emphasis, Birlasoft. They did quite well, but they've come off considerably from the top. Any view on mid-cap IT? Would you look to buy some of these names, or do you believe still, in fact, we'd like to see pressure on growth, margins from here on?
So I'd take a very simplistic view because each one of these companies obviously have a separate specialization, and some of them will have portfolios which will be a little more insulated from the overall market. But if you were to look at the situation where for at least the next 12 months, it appears that most of the client companies are going to be able to or will be focusing on takeout, expense takeout kind of business rather than actually investing in their own growth, then the number of vendors also falls. And whenever you're looking at a falling number of vendors, it is very rare that you will find that smaller companies are the ones that get retained. In fact, it will be the larger ones that will get retained. So I would argue that this year, both for stocks in general and for IT in particular, you should be looking at the larger companies to position rather than trying to be very finicky about specific smaller companies. Obviously, special situations notwithstanding, there could be some cases here and there. But I would focus on the larger ones. And, despite the fact that they're a little more expensive than the kind of growth rates they're likely to witness, from a portfolio perspective, I think you need to be at least in some positions in IT. And I would imagine things like Infosys and HCL Tech are probably, relatively better valued given their growth profiles.
Got it. Anand, we got the China PMI numbers. It's purely as a trade, right? Metals look good to you? Any thoughts at all?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Do metals, steel, non-steel, etc., look good to you from a trading perspective?
Well, I don't want to take a call on the trading part of it, but overall, I think, metals, if you have to be, again, I would imagine that non-ferrous is better than ferrous. And most of the other metals which may be interesting are not really in India's basket anyway. So, there is not much that I would like to do in metals per se.
All right, Anand, we'll leave it there. We'll take a break, actually, and we'll come back with more. Just still, 14 minutes to go for 9 o'clock, which is, of course, the pre-open. The SGX rate should come up on your screen. I think it was indicative of a 50-odd point lower start. Our technical experts will also join in. Mitesh with Sudarshan with what they're making of things and trades they'd want you to take. Stay with us. That view comes up next.